Hello everyone, I am the Double Agent, and I'm just playing some Bears Can't Drift right now, because I really don't want to show my face for this video. I'm sure you've managed to put it together by now with all the very subtle hints I've been dropping, but I do not plan on making a best list this year, because not only have my best lists consistently performed terribly over the years, but having followed the top 20 this whole time, there's really only 7 or 8 songs I can think of that charted this year that I actually consider worthy of praise. Oh, there were tons of songs that I liked, but they're not exactly best list material, you know? Which is why I considered a video like this a bit more fitting. Welcome everyone to the top 10 songs I'm ashamed to have liked in 2016. It's kinda like a list of my guilty pleasures. Except there was no pleasure in 2016. Only guilt. Fair warning, you guys are about to see a completely different side of me at my most vulnerable, and you may never look at me the same again. And I know most of you are gonna disagree with this video in its entirety, that's kind of the point. So please don't bother telling me that in the comments, like it's just redundant, just shut up. No real criteria for this list, no peak position it had to reach on the charts or anything like that. It just has to be a song that I heard in 2016 that I'd never in a million years admit to my friends that I like. Hopefully none of them know about my YouTube channel. Let's go. Somebody save your soul 'cause you've been sinning in the city. I know too many troubles, all these... This song is an embarrassment in every sense of the word. It's some pop rock act with a lead singer well into his 40s who had a great album back in 2010 and an album back in 2013, who made it come back out of nowhere and released a full-on pop album this year. And it's not what I'd call good pop, or listenable pop. Sounds basically like what any 46-year-old man would think pop music sounds like. The dude sold out hard. There was only one song off this album that was anything close to success. Hand Clap, a song that, despite everything, I actually like. I mean, I shouldn't. The percussion is pulled right out of a free trial of GarageBand, the vocal effects are relentless and grating, and the trumpet line is irritatingly fake. This doesn't sound like a band made it, really. It sounds like something you'd hear in a commercial for vitamin water. It's a garbage song from a very desperate man who peaked old and is still having a midlife crisis. So why do I like it? The bass line. Yeah, what can I say? It's a good bass line. God, I'm a piece of shit. 2016 was not a good year for the charts, but it was a pretty decent year for albums, or so I've been told. This may come as a surprise to literally none of you, but I don't really listen to albums that much. And it just so happens that every album I listened to this year was incredibly underwhelming. Views by Drake, Starboy by The Weeknd, that one J. Cole album. Not even Meghan Trainor could hop the incredibly low hurdle we set for her. Which I guess makes it all the more confusing that the only album that actually exceeded my expectations this year was by that girl who made Call Me Maybe. Those of you who don't follow me on Twitter, which you totally should by the way, at TheDoubleAgent, you probably won't know this, but there's a little Twitter community that's kind of formed around me in the past year or so, and they all went fucking crazy over this album when it dropped. I thought they were insane, because I'd never really listened to the original Emotion before then, and like, come on, it's the Call Me Maybe girl. And then I actually decided to sit down and listen to it. And oh my god, were they right. I don't know how she did it, but every single song on the album is the best song on the album. The kind of awkward song about how this one guy is slightly better than everyone else, perfect. That song about how distant and awful her boyfriend is, perfect. That relatively down-tempo breakup anthem, perfect. Even the Friend Zone anthem is fucking infectious and amazing and I love it. For the love of God, listen to this album right after this video's over. Remember that Twitter community I mentioned earlier? Yeah, my number 8 pick for this list was a meme in that community for the longest time, just because of how divisive and or awful it is. I kind of started out as the one indifferent guy in the war, but I gotta admit, it grew on me over the past few months. I don't know why it happened, I don't know how it happened, but I do like this song now, so I guess you could say my taste in music has kind of hit an all-time Yeah, it's an embarrassing song. But it's supposed to be. It's a song about a dude who still has feelings for his ex that are in no way reciprocated. And it really sounds like it too. Perfectly encapsulating that little manic episode of denial you have just before you start to freak out. Which is honestly the only reason that masturbation line isn't really that jarring. Was the prototype like 3 stacks on that CD? And I feel like it pulls off crushing loneliness and regret better than any other song I've heard in this year filled with crushing loneliness and regret. Honestly, I'd probably be okay with myself for liking this song if it weren't for the noise. And like, I don't even really mind the noise, but objectively speaking, it's just the worst thing you could have put there. I mean, why the fuck would you... Nah, I'm just gonna take what I can get this year. All my friends are heathens, take it slow. think I've finally figured out why I like this song. It's actually pretty ingeniously designed. It's the first pop song I think I've ever witnessed to make use of the Picardy third. The chord progression goes C major, and then A minor, and you'd expect it to resolve on an E minor, but it actually plays an E major instead, switching it up a little bit, you know, keeping you on your toes the whole time. It's a really interesting kind of progression that you don't really hear on pop music. You usually hear it on, like, soundtracks and just full-on instrumental stuff. It's a really interesting tone. The bouncy percussion, those little electric guitar licks that kind of sound like frogs, even the backing vocals, which are just the regular vocals pitched down and up an octave, work really well within the song's context of setting an unsettling, twisted atmosphere. Everything is just slightly warped and off in all the right ways. I guess what I'm saying is, 21 Pilots' song Heathens off the Suicide Squad soundtrack is an incredibly well-crafted, well-planned out, and well-executed masterpiece of music. I deserve to die. You know what I like? Bo Burnham. Funny guy. He had this one joke on a recent special of his, Make Happy, which is on Netflix right now, go watch it, where he made fun of a trend in rap that he called
beat fetishism. It's where you make a sick beat, and then you rap anything over it, and people lose their minds. I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here is my handle, here is my spout. Baba Black Sheep, have you any wool? Yes sir, 3 bags full.
And I laughed, because it was hilarious, and also kinda true. Lyrics don't mean shit anymore to some other people. Those other people care about nothing but the beat. Damn those other people, they're ruining rap. And then this song came out. And I love it. Future and Designer are two rappers who have caught a lot of flack recently for basically being incomprehensible. They're part of a new movement in rap music that I like to call noise rap, because basically their delivery has a certain flow to it and the lyrics are completely incomprehensible, so their voice becomes part of the instrumental. And I gotta admit, a younger me probably would have hated this, but I mean, what can I say? It's a good beat. It's a really good beat. This song actually charted, and when it charted, people kind of freaked the fuck out for a bit because it is a meme. So it already had the public stacked against it from minute one, but I'm sorry, I can't hate this. I mean, look at it, it's fucking adorable.
I have a pear, I have pineapple.
I mean, come on, just look at how happy he is. He's dad dancing, his pantomiming, his slightly broken English. It's just so weirdly precious. It just makes me feel so happy whenever I hear it. I know I probably sound kind of condescending right now, but I don't get how anyone could honestly hate this song. It's just so pure, and it's over. It's over. Oh god. I knew I'd have to get to this one eventually, but like, why today? Why now? I get why most of you probably and or definitely hate this song. The beat is loud, abrasive, and incredibly obnoxious, and so is Fergie. And I don't really have much of an excuse for this one either. I guess I just kinda like this song in spite of literally everything about it. Except for this part. Yeah, that part's awesome. And also this one. Surprisingly clever, actually. And I guess in a year like 2016, where the down-tempo tropical house was boring and also the only thing on the radio, I just needed a song like this. Something inside of me needed something like this. A song with some real, genuine energy. Of course, I could do without Fergie pouring milk on her tits, but hey, at least she's passionate. Growing up in little pink houses, making out on living room couches. Usually I try not to let politics get in the way of my taste in music. Whether extreme right-wing, extreme left-wing, blatantly sexist, or irritatingly social justice-y, it doesn't matter. If you have a good beat, I'm usually in. No shame, no regrets. But there's always an exception. And that exception is named Bob.
Globalists see me as a threat. Free thinking got the world at my neck, huh?
I mean, yeah. Controversial politics, mainstream politics, fuck that. This dude straight up thinks that the Earth is flat. That the Holocaust didn't happen. And I'm just now realizing that I have 15,000 subscribers, so at least one of you probably agrees with him. But you do understand at least that these kinds of beliefs aren't necessarily something you announce to the world, right? Especially if you have like a public image to keep up.
Rappers get off on my dick and get your own bars up. Vladimir and Liz's breath got the clone skirt, cuz whoop!
So yeah, B.O.B. is insane. He has a great flow, but he is insane. Which kind of leaves you to wonder, like, how can I even withstand all 3 minutes of this quite frankly disturbing propaganda? Well, take a guess.
Voice, do I have a voice? Do I give a fuck? Do I have a choice? Joint.
I know you're sick of me saying this, but the beat is just absolute perfection. I love the heavy-handed bass, I love the mystery movie synths, I love the way the drums kind of start chugging in the build-up of the chorus.
Called science and graduated to a club full of liars.
I even love the little vocals in the background for some reason.
Stalin was way worse than Hitler. That's why the POTUS gotta wear a kilt. I'm a man first for an artist.
This beat is so good, I honestly find myself coming back to this song at least twice a week, and I even kind of start rapping along with B.O.B. until I realize what I'm saying, then I glance around real quickly to make sure my mom's not in the room, then I continue being brainwashed in silence. Probably not the best thing for my developing mind, but you know, a good beat is a good beat.
So you want to find the farthest point from that center. And it turns out sea level at the equator is farther away from the center of the Earth.
God, what a can of worms I've opened up. Guys, I'm truly sorry for this one. As a pop music critic, this is pretty much the single biggest sin I could ever commit, and I know you'll probably never forgive me for this, but here goes. I like a Meghan Trainor song.
And I deserve better than you.
It's kind of a shame this song didn't chart. I mean, it's easily her best song, definitely the only salvageable song off Thank You, as well as the first and only example of competent production work on Meghan's crew's part. Whatever vocal effects they decided to slather Meghan's voice in this time around definitely worked, because this is the calmest and most tolerable she's ever sounded on a song.
I used to cry to all my friends.
I also really like the atmosphere. It's very relaxing and relatively subdued compared to her other stuff. The lyrics are arrogant, but in a much more understandable way than something like Me Too, so that's definitely a step up for her. And Yo Gotti is here for whatever reason. The down in the DM guy, you know. His verse is alright. It kind of stops up whatever flow the song had building up, like, a little bit, but you know, gets back on his feet rather quickly.
I deserve better than you.
The way I'm talking about this song and how I keep comparing it to Meghan's older works, you'd probably think my enjoyment of this song is just some kind of illusion stemming from low expectations, but no, I honestly kind of like this as a standalone piece. I mean, if someone else besides Meghan Trainor made this song, I would probably like it exactly as much as I already do, because the higher expectations and the increase in quality would balance out. But at the end of the day, it is a Meghan Trainor song, so a vast majority of you guys are probably going to go into the song already hating it, listen to it maybe once or twice, grasp at some straws to justify your predetermined hatred, and then never pay attention to it again. And I would consider you kind of unreasonable for doing that if we weren't talking about Meghan Trainor here, in which case I completely understand. I am definitely the one who's in the wrong here. In a way, it kind of felt good for me to get that off my chest, but in another way, I've now kind of legitimized the problem. I have to live with myself for the rest of my life now. So, just to recap, a 40-year-old sellout anthem, the Call Me Maybe Girl, an embarrassment, Suicide Squad, a mid-tier meme, Fergie pouring milk on her tits, a Flat Earth anthem, and a fucking Meghan Trainor song. What could possibly be more embarrassing than all of that? Well, here's a few songs that aren't.
So give me all of you in exchange for me.
One day I'm gonna have to face the fact that I might actually kind of be a fan of Bryson Tiller. Today is not that day. I've heard people call this song a Closer clone, and I'm sure they're right, I just don't hear it. If anything, I'd say this is about as far from Closer as you can get. It's light, smooth, compact, soothing, and it knows the right way to play around with a chord structure. I actually have no shame in admitting that the song is genuinely great, it's just kind of hard for me to cope with the fact that I like a Fifth Harmony song.
That girl is a real crowd, please.
Most of my friends seem to passively enjoy this song. Most of my fans seem to passively hate it. But I don't think I've met a single person who thoroughly likes it as much as I do. I would honestly call it one of my top 5 favorite songs of the year, and I have no idea why. It's just such a great comeback story. Like, Ray Shremmerd appeared out of nowhere. They sucked. People hated them. They got a second chance. They made something good, and now they're the #1 song in the country. It's like a fucking movie. I even like the Gucci Mane verse. I hate Gucci Mane.
Yeah, they hate, but they broke them. And when it's time to pop, they have no show.
This song is god-awful in every measurable quality and quantity. The beat, the lyrics, the atmosphere, the attitude, even the title. Just the worst. But I fucking love it. You got a problem with that?
In the middle of the party, bitch, get off me. Goddamn.
Yeah, it grew on me. Alright guys, here it is. Here we go. One small step for man, One giant leap for Gorilla.
Catch 'em down bad, beat 'em with the bat, hashtag that. I caught a new jack, yeah.
Yep. A Young Thug song. Named after Harambe. The dead Cincinnati Zoo gorilla. The twice-killed meme. And I like it. To preemptively answer all of your questions, I don't know. I don't know. I can't even fake it with this one. I don't know. This song isn't even about Harambe. Young Thug just named it that because every track off Jeffrey is named after someone who inspired Young Thug, which makes it so much worse. Oh my god. It's one thing to like a meme. It's another thing entirely to like a song dedicated to a meme. A song by an artist who admittedly follows in the footsteps of a dead gorilla who, if I may, totally had it coming. What'd I do? Somehow I do. I can't even blame it on the beat this time around, because it's not even that great. I mean, it's alright, but it's actually kind of a little quiet, you know? Not really energetic, and not really what I think about when I think of a gorilla, you know? I guess something about Young Thug's wailing appeals to some sort of primal sense of... I just...
God trying to decide. Do we want to leave me a sign?
Yeah. All I know is I listened to the song a lot this fall, so some part of me clearly likes some part of it. I'll never know why, I'll never know how, I guess this is just one of my flaws and I have to accept it. Well, this was the dumbest thing I've ever done. 2,000 new subscribers in a week and a half, and no, none of them will ever take me seriously. I am a disaster. Have a nice day, everybody.